What's up? It's your boy Arthur J, aka Joe Prince Speaks, back with another video. Video tonight that I'll be talking to you about. I want to give a shout out to Mama T and a few other brothers that have been talking about Memphis and the whole Elon Musk situation and what's hidden under Memphis and where Memphis originally is from, Memphis, Egypt, the Kemetic Science, and also the Mississippi River, which Memphis sits on, it being a north-flowing river, the Nile River. Mirror is what it is. And in my other videos, I was also talking about how the St. Johns River is a mirror to the Jordan River, and the Mississippi River is a mirror to the Nile River. I'll say mirror to be safe because there's no scientific evidence, as if we needed science to know what's real. So today, my video, since they've been breaking down this information about Memphis, Elon Musk, Mama T had a video. I frequently watch her lives and her videos on her YouTube page, and a few other brothers on TikTok. I don't know their name, but I do watch Mama T a lot, and she kind of inspired somewhat inspired this video. So tonight, I'm going to be telling you about a rap group. And for those of you who don't like rap or are in the conscious realm and don't believe in rap, I'm here to tell you that there are prophets and there are messengers that were sent to this realm that gave us coded messages hidden in certain frequencies. And when you tap into those frequencies, you decode certain information that they hid in their music. That being relevant to this video, I'm here tonight. I'm going to talk about my brother's Mound, Memphis, Tennessee, Orange Mound. Yeah, that's what it is tonight. So, Mound G, Southern Underground group, made a lot of classic music. One song in specific, Space Age Pimpin. A lot of young people, they don't know or they're not familiar with the music, but your mother and your father are definitely familiar. Your grandparents are definitely familiar. If they're in their 50s, late 40s, with Ball and G, especially if they're from the South. So, that being said, before I get into it real deep, the history of Orange Mound. Excuse the dogs. It sits along an energetic artery. Jacksonville, New Orleans, and ATL are also the other cities that sit on this energetic artery. So, earlier this week I was talking about spiritual ley lines and nodes. We all know Memphis is a node. There are psychics. There are people who have certain visions. There are people who receive certain prophecies that have certain musical talents and poetic talents that come from this area. But there's a reason why. They're just not musically gifted. They're just not poetically gifted. They're just not psychically gifted. It's a reason for all of these things. So, I just told you it sits on the energetic artery. And I just told you Jacksonville, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Atlanta, Georgia sit on this energetic artery. And I just earlier this week was telling everybody how Jacksonville is a gateway city. Jacksonville is a gateway city, right? So, what these cities, Jacksonville, ATL, and New Orleans, have in common is they have deep black spiritual movements, Masonic and church infrastructure, and they also have sacred music that opens portals, gospel, blues, and rap. So, if I'm talking about 8 Ball and MJG, and they're a rap group, and they're from a city that has sacred music that opens portals, I guess you know what I'm getting at. Now that I broke that down, Orange Mound, that's what they represent. A chakra point on the black ley line grid. That's what Orange Mound is. It's a chakra point. I just said it's an energetic artery. Notice that I'm talking about a spiritual body on the black ley line grid. Space age pimping is an activation code. And for those of you who don't believe the information that I've researched and I'm presenting to you today, you can easily go on ChatGPT and see for yourself. You can easily look up these terms and definitions on Google and books for yourself. You can easily listen to the elders who have been presenting this information: Bobby Hemmy, Rashad Jamal, Mama T, and a few other people. Whether you agree with everything they say or not, they have been presenting this information for years. Dr. Valentine, Dr. Phil Valentine, Brother Rod Hayes, Chief Pontiac, all of these people talk about this information. I am not biting information. I'm telling you what was given to me so that you can understand why you listen to what you listen to, and you've never known why you were drawn to certain. Okay, out of all the groups in the South, right? Even back then, 8 Ball and MJG, it was just like you were drawn to their music. It was something about their music, and there was always messages in their music. If you were ever drawn to their music, if you're a big fan of their music, it's because you're drawn to the energy of their music. And it's an activation code, which means you can activate portals through their music. Why is that? Because the beat stimulates the root and the crown chakra at the same time, a space age pimping. The beat alone stimulates the root and the crown chakra, the crown and the root chakra at the same time. It's a form of street mysticism, translated cosmic law through Memphis slang. I'm going to say that again. It's a form of street mysticism, translating cosmic law. Cosmic. Remember the guys who were talking about Elon Musk while he was drawn to Memphis and what the secrets of Memphis, the Kemetic science. What does Memphis have? It has a pyramid, an artificial pyramid. Why of all things would you build that pyramid there? What river does it sit along? The Mississippi River. What does the Mississippi River resemble? The Nile River. It is the Nile River. But anyway, we can go even deeper into this chat. It's just so much. Basically, their music is exposing cosmic laws, but they're doing it in the street. form. So if you understand their music, you'll understand other elements that surround their music. For instance, Memphis. We all know that Memphis is a city in Egypt. The city of Ptah, P-T-A-H. The city of Ptah, the god of creation, vibration, and speech. Creation, vibration, and speech. The god of Ptah, P-T-A-H. Excuse me if I'm not saying the name correctly. Ptah, P-T-A-H. The god of creation, vibration, and sound. Right? The god of creation, vibration, and sound. What is rap music? Creating lyrics. The beat is the vibration and the sound. How it formulates. 8 Ball and MJG have a certain sound. They're not like every other group, let alone every other group in the song. So basically what I'm trying to tell you today is these brothers are cosmic coded prophets that use music as a way to get decoded messages out to the masses. Space Age Pimpin is not what you think about. It's not about women at all. In fact, let's see what Space Age Pimpin is about. Let's just go into it deeper. What is Space Age Pimpin about? Oh yeah, I wrote some shit down. This shit is deep. These songs, these messages that you're hearing, you have to really pay attention. It's the reason why you're drawn to this information. Oh yeah. But before I even get into Space Age Pimpin, let me just get into the city of Orange Mound, where they're from. Orange Mound. It gave a rise to certain rap artists like 8 Ball and MJG. What are 8 Ball and MJG? They are lyrical prophets. The city was founded in the 1800s on the ground of the Dedrick Plantation, Deaderick Plantation. That plantation transitioned from a plantation to black-owned property. So, what once was a plantation for slaves became black-owned property. Spiritually, that has a meaning. What is that spiritual meaning? It's turning a space of bondage into a realm of freedom and cultural expression. A space of bondage into a realm of freedom and cultural expression. It transitioned, it shifted, it went into another realm. What is space considered to be another realm? What must you do to enter that realm? Go through a portal. Anyway, that's Orange Mound for you. Dedrick Plantation, look it up. It was founded in the 1800s and it was turned into black-owned property. Space Age Pimpin. Space Age Pimpin. Remember, I said spiritually, the city of Orange Mound represents a space of bondage that transitioned into a realm of freedom and cultural expression. What is rap and hip-hop music? Cultural expression. Now that we're there, I said I was going to give you the meaning of space age pimping. It's not about women. It's not about pimping women at all. Remember, when you think about Memphis, what do you think about? You think about pimping. Pimping. Pimping is real heavy in Memphis. When you think of cities like Chicago, Milwaukee, and Memphis, you think about pimping. Memphis has a pimp culture. What better way to release our music and hide these messages? What better way? Talk about pimping. Give it to them in a playeristic form and let those who are meant to decode this information, let them decode it. It's about controlling frequency. It's not about pimping women. It's about controlling frequency. Moving through time and staying sovereign in a synthetic world. Follow me now. This is researched information. This is real researched information. All you have to do is go to chat, type it in, and do the research that I did. See, everybody was talking about the Elon Musk thing, but there were prophets before Elon Musk and all this information came out that people looked over. We can't look over everything because all these are pieces to a puzzle that we're putting together. None of us had the same information, and none of us know all of the information. Remember that. Know what I'm saying? 8 Ball, MJG, they are a rap group. But what do they represent in this group? 8 Ball is the planetary anchor. Space age pimpin'. Planetary anchor. MJG, the high priest archetype. The high priest archetype. MJG, the galactic sentinel. See, this information right here, man, when you think about it, you've been listening to this music all these years. And it's like, damn, I'm drawn to the music, but I don't know why. Because it's magnetic. When it taps into the correct frequency, it's magnetic. You're drawn to it. It's magnetic. Everything is spiritual. You're thinking MJG and 8 Ball are just a group when there's way deeper than that. They were talking about space age pimping in the late 90s, early 90s. Look at the name of that album, dog. Top of the World. What's on top of the world? Cosmos. Bruh. Underground. What you mean underground? What are you talking about underground? What are you referring to when you're talking about underground? Let's go into the spiritual meaning of Orange Mound. A spiritual safe haven and a war zone. It's like a black Zion, where ancestral spirits rest, organize, and influence the living. Root workers, church mothers, musicians, and activists carry divine assignments here in Orange Mound, Tennessee, located in the Memphis area. It makes you wonder, what city is one of the top cities in the rap game right now? But Memphis been had 3-6 Mafia, 666. All this shit is coded information. All of these guys know information they can't just release and put out there. They put it out there in the form of music that sounds just like some street shit or some gangster shit. And you ride around bumping it, you don't even know what you're bumping because you're not tapped into it, because you're not on the right frequency wave. 666 Mafia. Project Pat. Project Pat. Yeah. Lord Infamous. Come on, man. Come on, bro. They put this coded information and talked about majority street gangster shit. But if you listen to those songs and go back and listen to some of those songs, they slick put coded messages in them. And a lot of people were sacrificed for it. Look, 666 Mafia, they talked about mysticism in all of their songs. Voodoo, crystals, magic. They talked about all of that in their music. What took place in Memphis? The original Memphis? Memphis, Israel? Who's from Orange Mound? Root workers. We miss it every time. We miss it every time because we just want to feel good and smoke the something, and drink the something, but we don't want to tap into. It's not that we don't want to. We don't tap into the right frequencies. We think these niggas just talking about pimping some hoes and laid back and eating good on some player shit and getting some money, and they're talking about some shit that's way deeper than that. Excuse me. And they just happen to be from the Memphis, Egypt area, from a city called Orange Mound. What is the mound? The mound is an ancient symbol. Indigenous mounds are across America, all across America. Often they are found in the Mississippi Valley, where sacred earthworks, burial sites, and energy centers dwell. What is Memphis? An energy center. They just talked about that in the videos. The brothers was talking about it and breaking it down in the videos. On TikTok, the Mama T put in the video when she talked about Memphis. It's all connected. It's also a spiritual testing ground. What spiritual tests take place here? Broken homes, police brutality, and drug wars. Those who spiritually graduate from Orange Mound, they come out anointed. It's a forging ground for soul warriors. This is a spiritual war, people. Nothing is physical. When you think in the physical and the flesh, you think like a human, which goes back to the book, the Bible, where it says we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and high places. So if we wrestle with principalities and high places, why would we wrestle with the body? It's showing you who you are. You are a God. That message was for the gods. You are a God in this body, in this form, with this avatar. You don't wrestle with this principalities in high places. which means you came from above. You are a God. What do you mean you came from above? You came from the cosmos. You're a God. You didn't come from below. You entered a portal to come here. You entered a realm to come here. This is the timeline that you're currently on. Why? Because you are God in a human experience, if that makes sense. I'm really trying to say something deeper than that. What I'm trying to tell you is that my black brothers and sisters, my brown brothers and sisters, you are God in this human form. You appear to be human, but you're really being spiritually tested so that you can graduate to the next level spiritually. But this is a test. That's why you suffer. That's the purpose of your suffering on earth, to see if you will break or fold or conform to certain succumb to like addictions, succumb to like anger. It says that gods are slow to anger. Slow to anger, why? Because we possess the knowledge to keep us from being angry. Humans act out of anger. Humans act out of emotion. We are gods. We are emotionally responsible. Money has nothing to do with responsibility. We are spiritually responsible. We understand that spiritually we are on a mission. We are on a journey. We cannot conform to things of this world. What does the world do? Every time they get mad, they react out of anger and aggression, and they do things that they should not do. Not to get off a subject matter, what I'm telling you is that their music, it may not seem like it's spiritual, and it opens portals. So if you were to play their music in the midst of a portal, and what other better place than Memphis that is on an energetic artery. Artery. An artery is a main valve. It's a main line that keeps the organisms properly functioning in the spiritual body. Memphis is a spiritual node. 8 by the NJG are from Memphis. Orange Mound. See how that works? It's always deeper than what you think. Everything is spiritual. There's nothing physical about this experience whatsoever. The only thing physical about this experience is that we're dead and we will die out of this experience. And these bodies will return to earth. And then the experience continues in other realms. But for now, we're gods. And in this experience, there's certain things we must know, tap into, and be knowledgeable of. 8 by the NJG are cosmic coded prophets. And their music, it's not just music. It opens portals. So maybe next time you're down by the Mississippi River, I meant the Nile River, in Memphis, Egypt, or wherever you may be along that river, play their music and watch how the body of water reacts to it. Meditate with the music playing. Maybe you'll tap into the ancestors. Maybe they'll come through you. Or just maybe you can astral project. Go to sleep with that music playing. Maybe you can astral project. Play space age music. Play space age Pimpin. Right before you go to sleep in your headphones. Go to sleep listening to it. Maybe you'll astral project. Maybe you'll shift timelines. You just never know. Whatever you do, you're going to open the portal. You might build a connection with the ancestors, a stronger connection with your ancestors. You just never know how many downloads it come to. You just have to remember the information. Just give you a little game, man. Don't be so quick to denounce certain things like the older generations. Let's not be like the older generation that was before us, that denounced everything. And everything they denounced blocked them from their spiritual superpowers and their supernatural being. Because they thought like humans and they were tricked into believing they were humans. The whole time, they were gods living amongst a human experience. To decipher information, decode information, and to be tested spiritually. Let's see. Beale Street. Beale Street. The pyramid. Built on purpose to mark comedic energy systems. 8-Ball and NJG. Their lyrics channel street realities through a divine lens. This is researched information. Channels street realities. I just told you. Through a divine lens. They're divine beings. They're cosmic coded prophets. Speaking in frequency coded game. I just said that. Tapping into Afrofuturism. Space age pimping. And Orange Mound is the place they represent. See the connection. See how it all connects, and when you put it all together, they're not just rappers, bro. Professor Griffith been breaking down on the rap game and certain information about certain rappers. Good and negative information. When I say negative information, not him being negative, I'm talking about like the good and the bad side. There are people that have made music, produced music, written songs for this industry, who disguise themselves, disguise their being, to give us coded messages, to open portals between realms, gospel, blues, and rap. So don't be so quick to denounce gospel music either, because I got another video about gospel songs that opens portals. Gospel songs with coded messages from our ancestors. That's going to be the next video. It's not just music that you're listening to. It's not just something to be smoking or riding to or chilling with your boo or a random female and just kicking it with her and drinking some wine or some shit. And you just kicking it and getting in the mood. You know what I'm saying? Listening to some 8-Ball and NJG. Put that space age pimping on. Nah, that's not what you were doing, bro. That's not what you were drawn to that music. It's a reason why you were drawn to that music. And the music industry knows why you were drawn to certain artists and they know who you are. You think they just sell records? You think they just put records out? You think they just put those records out on cassette and CDs just to distribute them and sell them? You don't think they did research? You don't think they took a closer look and a closer listen to the music and saw what kind of people were drawn to certain music and certain artists and why they were drawn to them? Certain artists had to retire and stop rapping and stop making music because they noticed that they were being watched. They started noticing patterns. They started noticing things that were happening around them, that were happening to their families and happening in their personal life that they have not announced to the public. And it's a reason for them retiring and no longer making music. And you thinking they just fell off the face of the earth. No, they were being monitored. The elites stepped to them. The elites pressured them and let them know we've been monitoring you and the people that listen to your music. You think you're going to spiritually charge and activate and awaken masses of gods that we've been working hard to hide energy from, trap energy from, so that they won't connect with the ancestors and rebuild and reconquer the indigenous lands? It's the reason why we did what we did. And they thinking this racism. No, it's not racism. We want the God energy. If we trap them, suppress them, and oppress them, they'll never know who they are. They'll never figure it out. They'll never activate. But then you have people like me. Then you have people like Rashad Jamal. Then you have people like Chief Pontiac. And you have people like Brother Rich. And then you have people like Red and Blue Pill. And then you have people like Brother Bobby Hemmett, Khalid Muhammad. Shall I continue? Dr. Phil Valentine. Then you have people like that who will put their life on the line for this information. They're cosmic coded prophets. Cosmic coded prophets. It's deeper than what you see. It's always deeper than what you see. And it always connects and it always aligns. Precept upon precept, line upon line. Christians, y'all go to church every Sunday. That's what the Bible says, right? It means it aligns. It always comes together. The pieces of the puzzle, they always fit. You can't hide from the gods. The gods will always figure it out. The gods will always decode the information. It's deeper than rap. Who put out the album Deeper Than Rap? Rick Ross, right? Deeper Than Rap. That was one of his albums, right? Who was one of the people that helped discover him? I believe it was Tony Draper. Tony Draper was the CEO of what label? I believe it was Suave House. Who was signed to Suave House? I believe it was 8 Ball and MJG. Just saying, folks. Good night.